Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dig into a really contrarian idea about investing. An idea that says, hey, all that advice you've been hearing for years about stocks and real estate, it might be completely wrong for the massive financial shift that's heading our way.
So let's just dive right in. This question is really at the core of everything for anyone trying to save money. You work your tail off, you put money aside, but is it actually safe? Are you really protecting its future value? And this is what's known as the investor's paradox. It's a real catch-22. On one side, you've got your so-called safe stuff, right? Like fixed deposits. The return is guaranteed, sure, but once you factor in taxes and then inflation, you're actually losing money. Your purchasing power is literally shrinking every single year. So on the other side, you think, okay, I'll go for growth. You jump into stocks. The problem, predicting what they'll do tomorrow or next week is a total crapshoot. It's not investing, it's just gambling. So if the safe road leads to you being core and the growth road is just a casino, what are you supposed to do? Well, the material we're breaking down today says the first step is to just stop and question everything we've been told about investing. And that leads to this quote, which is pretty bold, right? The conventional wisdom, what everyone tells you, is that if you want real long-term growth, you have to be in the stock market, period. But when you actually pull back and look at the numbers, especially over the last couple of decades, a very, very different story starts to take shape. Okay, now look at this. This is where it gets really interesting. Let's take the Sensex, a major stock market index, as our example. From 2000 to now, it's grown about 17 times over. And hey, that's not bad at all, right? That's an impressive run. But in that exact same time frame, both gold and silver grew by 40 times. Not 14, 40. 40. That just completely shatters the myth that stocks are the undisputed king of returns. Okay, so if stocks aren't the magic bullet, what about that other huge pillar of wealth building, real estate? Well, according to this source, we are in a massive, massive bubble. Prices are just so ridiculously inflated, so far beyond what normal people can afford, that the risks are just off the charts. Think about it. You could get trapped with a giant loan on a house that's actually going down in value. Or even worse, the builder just goes bust and suddenly you're left with no home, a huge loan you still have to pay, and you're still paying rent. What a nightmare. So if the two main roads everyone tells you to take, stocks and real estate, are full of potholes, it kind of suggests there's a bigger earthquake happening underneath, right? So let's zoom out. Let's forget about individual assets for a minute and look at the huge financial shift happening across the entire globe. Now, this brings us to a fascinating historical theory called the fourth turning. The basic idea is that history isn't random. It moves in these big, predictable cycles.